this is the episode where we're going to talk about who do we go to when we're looking for our geek information. Who wants to start?
All right.
All right, go, JP.
I watch Everything Always. I read some stuff from Geekosity by Mikey Sutton and his crew. I just watch a bunch of stuff, but yeah, probably the same stuff you guys watch. Everything Always and what's that?
I was saying no. Continue with what you're saying.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, whatever you guys watch, I probably watch as well.
I can tell you, I've never seen everything. Oh no, I have seen it, but I don't click on it.
I've seen a little bit of it. And
what about you, Jason?
Well, you might remember my primary source of is Emergency Awesome, which my mate Charlie, and that's because Charlie just knows everything. He just knows everything, and it's just so many of these other YouTube channels. They're all about trying to be funny, and they do all the little graphics. And they're compensating for their lack of knowledge. Charlie is just pure knowledge, straight from the vine, of just blowing your mind with stuff that you would never even think of. And he just shoots out this, and it's just pure. It's like milk from the cow from Peacemaker. It's just good stuff. He doesn't need all these kind of gimmicks and stuff. It's just pure goodness coming from him. Having said that, the opposite to that is probably the other group I listen to or watch, which is the Rockstars, the new Rockstars.
Yeah.
Eric Voss, he goes all right. That guy, like, he knows his stuff. He's got lots of energy, and that's what you want from a YouTuber. You know, you want lots of energy. But it's the other guy who does it. I forget what his name is. He's is it BM or it's I forget what his name is.
Forget his name.
Yeah, he's really good.
I watch.
He reminds me of Gift. That's why, because he's very funny and I like him. So, but there is no doubts that they know their stuff, right? They do. Yeah. They do know their stuff, and they've obviously got a pretty big setup there. They've obviously got tons of people working on it and stuff. Heavy Spoilers is another one because they come out really quickly.
That's the one I was going to go with. But,
Heavy Spoilers, even though Paul's an Englishman by the sounds of things. Well, he is an Englishman. He's got that funny little jokey thing he does. Or it's quite a funny. It's quite a funny. He does that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He does that, and that has a charm factor to it. But he's always the first one to drop his videos that I've seen.
Hang on. Jason, did you say you were charmed by an Englishman?
Oh, well, yeah. The odd one comes along. I mean, the Monty Python crew is my favorite comedy ever, so they're all Englishmen. So, except for one. But so Heavy Spoilers because he's out. I don't know how he gets it at that his stuff up so quickly, but he does. If I'm going to start going to when I do a deep dive, if I really want a deep dive on some of the storytelling aspects of these things, I go to a group called Lessons from the Screenplay.
I've seen them.
But that's for the hardcore. But they do a really good one on Captain America and what's his name and Iron Man, their character arc through the whole first couple of phases, all the way up to Endgame, which I thought was actually pretty good. And they're mad about Star Wars, so they really rip into Star, but they really dissect it quite thoroughly. But so it's them, and they're the guys I go to. So I don't go to too many because just
be honest.
May I add, like, aside from the ones you've mentioned, like New Rockstars, Heavy Spoilers, Emergency Awesome, I watch all that. I also watch Screen Crush.
Yeah. Screen Crush, Screencast, both Screen Crush, and Screen Rant. That's the other one I was going to say, Screen Rant.
And then you should watch Geeks Without Borders.
I think that's number one. I think that's number one.
Yeah, one guy there is particularly good, but the other two. But what about you, Gift? Come
I
on.
mean, you guys already mentioned. Look, I'm very limited because I have a certain temperament that I can deal with when it comes to my geek stuff, and especially if I start to hear repeats. So mine are always
Yeah,
just
yeah,
emergency, awesome, and heavy spoilers. And heavy spoilers is my first and foremost because usually gives me all the information that I wanted, and then I'll go to emergency awesome because it comes out like 7 hours later. But usually I've already gotten the information I wanted,
yeah,
the
yeah,
information from that. So I'm just like, eh. And then everybody else's temperament just aggravates me. I don't know why. It just
yeah,
aggravates me inside in some kind of way. And it just like I feel like I'm getting repeat information and
yeah,
this the voice kind of grinds into me. Because I tried to listen to the Rockstars and the new Rockstars, and I was just like, nope. And I mean,
yeah,
it used to be like Black Nerd used to be able to do it, but he just hasn't been keeping up the way that he used to. So I'm just like, nope.
yeah,
And then Screen Rant every once in a while, but their stuff is just so surface.
yeah,
This stuff is so surface that I'm just like, I'm good to go. That's like
yeah,
you got to give me a little something deeper over here, and usually the deep depth is very palpable. And
yeah.
I refuse to listen to rumors anymore because rumors
Okay.
start to aggravate the hell out of me. They either are going to
Yeah,
spoil it for me or they're going to be so wrong. And I'm just like, I just need the information to understand what it
yeah,
is that I should have been looking for and presenting.
yeah. It's some of the theory crafting goes. If someone comes up with too many stupid theories, you lose respect. I can't think off the top of my head. Sometimes that Eric Voss, if I get his name right, from New Rockstars, they just kind of entertain every theory under the sun.
Yeah.
It's like your 15 minutes video could have been 10 minutes long if you cut out at least two or three of those really stupid theories. But they kind of take pleasure in their stupid theories. Like, oh,
Yeah.
well, what about
Yeah.
this? And it's like, no, I don't want to hear that. Can you just cut to the ones that actually might work, what actually might happen? And I like the other thing with Emergency Awesome with Charlie is that Charlie is like he's very much his attitude is he's a servant to the movies, to the
Yeah.
content. Like he doesn't bag stuff all that often. He doesn't, well, like us. He kind of, and he doesn't give any spoilers away. He's really like he avoids stupid theories or spoilers. Like
Yeah.
he really has reverence for it. Like he really loves his content. Like he really loves what he's doing. So
Well, the art in making the content, and
yeah,
he's like what the news is supposed to be. Just give me the
yeah,
facts. Give me the
yeah,
facts. Help me understand what the facts mean, but give me the facts.
yeah. No, he never swears either. I've hardly ever heard him swear. Like he's like a newsreader, like you
Yeah.
said. He's too straight for that.
It's just very straightforward, which is why I'm able to deal with him, and especially now because Heavy Spoilers isn't doing Peacemaker, so it's nice to be able to actually have a reason to differentiate.
They're not doing sport. Yeah, what was that all about?
Well, he's having a baby. He's having twins.
Oh, twins.
Like they're supposed to be coming out this week. So he was like, I can't do Peacemaker, and Boba
Come
Fett
on,
thankfully is over.
outsource, Paul, outsource. What about movie reviewers? Are there any like just guys who review the movies?
Oh, now you're talking into my language. All right, Cinema Sins. Everybody. Nostalgia Critic. The John guy. He's all right. Actually, honestly, those are my two. Cinema Sins and Nostalgia Critic. These are my
Cinema
preeminent
Sins, yeah.
movie reviewers. They're probably the biggest ones, arguably, but I like my movie reviews to come off to me so I can actually see the idiocies and the idiosyncrasies of the movies as opposed to just the opinion of the movie
Right.
In and of itself. So if you're just talking to me, and again, this is where black nerd comedy comes in. Once in a while, it gives me something good. But for the most part, again, it goes to you got to hit me with something that's just slightly different. Otherwise, you're not doing something that I can't already do myself. And I need you to give me something that I can't, that works to my convenient time and helps to entertain. So if you're hating on the movie, like I don't like the guys who do the Cinema Sins on Cinema Sins. Like they annoy me because it's just like
someone does it.
Yeah. So there's another channel that like Cinema Sins. So
That's like doing a parody of Weird Al Yankovic. It's just you can't do it.
Exactly. And so they just hate on all the stuff. They just throw shade on the stuff CinemaSins does, which is funny in the sense if I didn't think that CinemaSins did such an incredible job in what they do. So it just irks me the wrong way. And then Nostalgia Critic obviously demand that Channel Awesome, despite all their issues in the past, are just beasts when it comes to creating a TV show about movies and by making them into movies. Like that's real. That one's real. I'd love to see that happen, but other than that, everybody else is pretty blah to me.
Yeah. What about you, JP? Do you listen to reviews or people who just?
Well, I just watch whatever. Like I just aside from the ones we've mentioned before, I just type in like review, and then whatever pops up. So I don't go to a particular channel for that, but we have these like the ones we've mentioned, and I
forgot one more. There's one more reviewer that I love as well. It's Ryan George, what he does on Screen Rant with super awesome, super easy, barely an inconvenience, like where he just plays himself as a movie executive, and then he's also pitch movies.
I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
I forget. I know the one but I can't. I know the one you're talking about. Is that the one who
pitch meeting? That's it. Pitch meeting.
Right.
And that one I think is so hilarious. It is great. I mean, it's not always accurate. Yeah, pitch meeting. It's under Screen Rant. I wish he would have been able to do it under his own, but if it's worked so far with that and he's been able to do his own stuff. But that one is legitimately hilarious, and it also is just a great review. It gives spoilers, but it also doesn't give spoilers simultaneously. I got to give him credit for that. But those are
there you are. I see it.
Those three jib my jibe.
Right. I have to admit I'm far more conventional when it comes to reviewers. For start, I don't like reviewers. They are unnecessary.
Personal feelings there.
Yeah,
is it?
They are a necessary evil because most of the time they are talented people who are critiquing more talented people than themselves. And I particularly hate the ones who have probably never made a movie and never actually gone out there and written a screenplay or done anything. Having said that, there are still good reviewers out there and they're still important. We need them, but the reviewers I like are those who respect the form, respect the director, and don't get up on a high horse and thinking that if they made a film, the way that some of them talk and they act as if they ever made a film, that'd be Martin Scorsese. You have never made a film, so you show some humility, right? And so the two guys I go, one I think you've already kind of referred to, and I'm probably contradicting myself. I'll go to him second because he's not my first. First guy is just a guy called Chris Stuckman.
I've seen him. I've heard of his stuff. I heard he's like the preeminent one when it comes to reviewers.
Yeah, he's just meat and two veg. Sits in front of the camera, talks it through. He's just got good insights, good understanding. He understands different genres, what they're trying to do, what they're not trying to do. He respects the art form, and he's actually just recently gone on and talked about his love of cinema and how it's affected his personal life because he was a hardcore Jehovah's Witness, and his love of cinema helped leave that faith. And he goes, it's really traumatic. He gets about half an hour. He gets right into his story. He left that whole thing. I realized it was a cult. It's like, oh, wow. So, he went from this guy just telling us reviews, and he's got this huge backstory. But he's also directing a horror.
Nice.
So again, he's
pretty cool.
So he's got again, when you see, you wouldn't pick him walking down the street, right? He's so unassuming, but he clearly loves cinema, he loves film, and
he's been on Nostalgia Critic, which is why I know who he is.
Yeah. The other guy, I think you remember, and I'm not sure why I like this guy. He's a bit of a freak in some respects. Is that Jeremy Jahns?
Oh yeah. See, Jeremy Jahns is the example where I go like I'm mixed on him because his stuff is it's literally just talking to the camera, and there's this aspect like 55% of it annoys the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I don't like your take because you know nothing. Like, especially when it comes to the market, he doesn't know anything about it. But at the same time, I can appreciate him for just talking about the movie as it has been presented to him and without any backstory or understanding.
That's kind of his charm as well as his weakness, is that he's almost oblivious to everything. Yeah. He's like, he floats across the sky. He goes, I went and saw this movie once. It was Spider-Man. Yeah, it was, and as if it wasn't the world's biggest movie at the time. It's just like, it was all right. That's probably understand a little bit. He did get excited about that movie, and he does talk about the other things. He probably knows more than he's leading on, right?
Yes.
It's definitely a persona. But he's just got this red background, and he gets in front of that camera. And I thought, I don't know how much money that guy's making. Same with Chris Stuckman. Like, Chris Stuckman's huge numbers.
No, I know Chris Stuckman is banking. At least because he is. I know for a fact that he is like the standard for YouTube movie reviews.
But he just jumps in front of the camera, turns on the camera, talks for about 5 minutes, probably adds the bits on the end. Voila, there's however $1,000 per. It's like, gosh. Same with Jeremy Jahns. Like, there's nothing to it.
Yeah, but that's how you know that they have been doing this for a while, because that style doesn't work in new YouTube cinema per se.
Yeah.
You have to add stuff in if you're a newer person, but if you've already been established for a while, then you can stick with that concept because it's typical.
Yeah. So I like those two.
I want to add this critic that I like. His name is Jason Gray. He's done like a spattering of documentaries.
I couldn't be.
I disagree. I think the guy, he's a little bit opinionated. I don't know. He seems skewed. If you talk about English or cricket, I feel like it just gets out of control.
Oh, well, let's talk about
cricket.
Can't
trust anything that is said.
Let's talk about cricket. Anyone who's into cricket,
but he's a pretty good singer as well.
I could never be a reviewer. I don't think. It's just an art form which. There are other films like that. There's that breakdown film. There's a really good one called Every Frame's a Painting, which is all about cinematography. There's this guy edits. There's people who do deep dives. Just Right, RWRITE, Just Right. And there's again screenwriters. There's some that goes into the deep aspects of a particular genre. Sorry, not genre, but a different discipline within the filmmaking world. I respect those guys too. They just break, like every frame of painting, of course, is cinematography. It's like an ode to cinema. But there's also Studio Binder, that's really so. When I do this film school stuff, which I hope to be doing one day down the track when everybody's finally got back to normal here, I'm going to do half my film school stuff on some of those YouTube videos because I can't say any better than some of those guys. They particularly Studio. Yeah,
that's how you do it. Collate that content together and let that be the explanation.
So what do they call them? Video essays. That's what they're called. So video essays means you just like that. You do. So there's one there on David Fincher's. He moves his camera when someone looks up. Mm-hmm. The camera moves up with it. It's just like a 15-minute on David Fincher's how he follows eye lines and stuff. So it is very particular, but they're called video essays, and it's probably more my thing than you guys' things, but worth getting into.
But no, that's and what about you, JP? You didn't say who your reviewers. Oh, you said you just look up reviews.
Yeah, pretty. Type reviews and but YouTube has this algorithm right? Like the more people watch you, the more you go up in search
Right.
rank. So the people you probably watch are probably the same people I watch.
I mean, possibly. Again, for me, like, and I think I unconsciously my stuff is in the same way as Jason. It's like I need a reviewer who actually knows how to put a storyline together to be able to make sure that your reviews are genuine. So, like, ironically, and I was just thinking about it now. I didn't even think about it until Jason had said that. All the people that really get me as a review is people who are literally putting a storyline to put their reviews together. So whether it's pitch meeting, which is the storyline, like I said, of the executive, of the screenwriter pitching the executive, that's still a story, and it has a long scene. Like these are 100-something episodes, 170, almost 200 episodes of these videos of them just him going back and forth on this green screen, and they connect to each other because they all have little subtleties there. Nostalgia Critic, every episode is a mini movie. You know, it's a 30-minute piece. Sometimes it can be hokey and not, but he'll give you the education, he'll give you his opinion, he'll give you the straight storyline, and in between that is where you'll get the entertainment, you'll get another underlying storyline, and get this basically other show that's going on while we're talking the show. And then obviously Cinema Sins is the narration concept. And honestly, Cinema Sins and Nostalgia Critic taught me how to watch and make movies probably far better than anything I've ever done and seen before, because of how nitpicky they are, even in sarcasm, but it lets you be able to see the tropes that get done over and over and over again and have a little bit more of a critical eye on what does. At the same time, I think it kind of desensitized me to also enjoying movies just for being movies. So because now I'm like,
you don't want that.
Maybe that's why I don't watch these things so much, because like as you've noticed, like I just like things. Oh, yeah,
right.
That's
I think there's a reasonable argument not to watch those reviews because of that. If you can just enjoy the movie for the movie, you've won, because enjoying the movie and needing it to be good, especially after seeing movie after movie after movie, it becomes exhausting to realize how many not good movies there are.
Let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out. Subscribe!
Die. Oh, die.